Extreme versus enduring, carnivore, plant-based, and blue zone diets under the microscope. Introduction. In an era of ever-evolving dietary trends, the contrast between restrictive diets like the carnivore plan and time-tested nutritional traditions such as plant-based and blue zone diets could not be more striking. The carnivore diet, which excludes all plant foods and emphasizes animal products exclusively, has gained popularity among those seeking rapid weight loss, reduced inflammation, and relief from chronic illness. Meanwhile, the plant-based diet continues to garner support from both modern science and ancient wisdom, celebrated for its diverse nutrient profile and disease-preventing effects. But what does the evidence say when we zoom out? What happens when we compare these radically different approaches, not just in terms of weight loss or lab values, but through the lens of long-term health, aging, sustainability, and quality of life? In this article, we dive deep into the key differences, scientific findings, and public health implications behind these dietary philosophies. Whether you're exploring lifestyle changes or guiding others, this comparative analysis sheds light on how what we eat today shapes the health we carry into tomorrow. The carnivore diet, a meat-only approach to health. The carnivore diet is a form of zero-carb eating that includes only foods derived from animals, red meat, poultry, fish, eggs, and in some cases, dairy. Vegetables, fruits, grains, legumes, nuts, and even herbs and spices are excluded. Originating partly from ancestral eating patterns observed in Arctic populations and recent anecdotal reports of autoimmune improvements, the carnivore diet has attracted attention for its simplicity and perceived purity. What it claims to do. Supporters argue the carnivore diet can eliminate inflammatory triggers from grains, lectins, or fiber, improve insulin sensitivity and reduce blood sugar spikes, aid in fat loss without calorie counting, enhance mental clarity and mood, reverse certain autoimmune or gastrointestinal symptoms. While some early self-reported results appear promising, especially for people dealing with autoimmune flares or inflammatory bowel disorders, researchers caution that robust, long-term clinical trials are lacking. Nutrient strengths and gaps. Animal foods are rich in high-quality complete proteins, vitamin B12, heme iron, zinc, and creatine, omega-3s, especially from fatty fish, fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, K2. However, the diet lacks vitamin C, vitamin E, and magnesium, fiber, essential for digestion and microbiome diversity, phytochemicals, antioxidants found in plants that help fight cellular aging and inflammation, prebiotics and polyphenols known to support the immune system and long-term brain health. There is also concern about increased intake of saturated fats and cholesterol, especially when relying heavily on red meat and processed meats. While some individuals on the diet show favorable blood markers, others experience spikes in LDL cholesterol and elevated inflammatory markers over time. Plant-based diets, the evidence-based middle ground. Plant-based diets focus on the abundance of fruits, vegetables, legumes, grains, nuts, and seeds. They may be entirely vegan or include small amounts of animal products such as dairy, eggs, or fish, depending on individual preferences. What the science shows. Dozens of large-scale studies, meta-analyses, and long-term observational cohorts have repeatedly shown that plant-based diets reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease, lower LDL cholesterol and blood pressure, improve blood glucose regulation, decrease systemic inflammation, are associated with reduced cancer risk, support a healthier gut microbiome. These diets are also rich in fiber, which feeds gut bacteria and improves metabolic flexibility, polyphenols, which reduce oxidative stress and DNA damage, essential micronutrients like magnesium, potassium, and folate, plant-based omega-3s from sources like chia, flax, and walnuts. The plant-based approach is also flexible. People can tailor it to suit cultural traditions, lifestyle needs, or food availability, making it sustainable and inclusive across diverse populations. Blue zones, long-term wisdom from the world's healthiest populations. The blue zones refer to 5 regions of the world with the highest concentrations of centenarians: Okinawa, Japan; Sardinia, Italy; Nicoya, Costa Rica; Icaria, Greece; and Loma Linda, California. These populations share remarkably low rates of chronic disease and live well into their 90s, and hundreds with vitality and purpose. Core features of blue zone diets: predominantly plant-based. 90 to 95% of daily calories come from plants. Rich in legumes, particularly beans, lentils, and chickpeas. Moderate intake of whole grains, vegetables, seasonal fruits, and nuts. Minimal meat, often eaten just a few times per month. Natural sugars, if any, come from whole fruits or occasional honey. Olive oil and herbs for flavor and heart protection. More importantly, food in these regions is integrated with community, daily movement, spirituality, and a strong sense of purpose, ikigai or plan de vida. Meals are often shared, unrushed, and enjoyed in alignment with nature's rhythms. What the comparison reveals: when comparing the carnivore diet with plant-based and blue zones diets, several key differences emerge that are critical for long-term health. Let's begin with nutrient diversity. The carnivore diet offers very little variety. It focuses solely on animal-derived foods, which means you're missing out on the wide array of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants found in plants. In contrast, plant-based diets offer a vast range of nutrients from colorful fruits and vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and seeds. Blue zone diets take this one step further by emphasizing seasonal, whole plant foods, providing exceptional nutrient variety throughout the year. Next is fiber intake. The carnivore diet contains no fiber at all, which is essential for gut health and digestion. Plant-based and blue zone diets are naturally high in fiber, supporting regular bowel movements, feeding healthy gut bacteria, and reducing inflammation throughout the body. Now consider inflammation and disease risk. The data on the carnivore diet is mixed. Some individuals see short-term improvements, but long-term effects on inflammation are not well studied. On the other hand, plant-based diets consistently lower inflammatory markers, reduce oxidative stress, and help prevent chronic diseases. Blue zone populations, which follow mostly plant-based diets, exhibit some of the lowest rates of heart disease, diabetes, and cancer in the world. Then there's sustainability. High meat consumption, especially red meat, places a heavy burden on the environment due to greenhouse gas emissions and land use. Carnivore diets are among the most resource-intensive. In contrast, plant-based and blue zone diets tend to be more environmentally friendly. Blue zone communities often rely on locally grown produce and sustainable farming practices that protect biodiversity and natural resources. Finally, let's talk about real-world outcomes. There is no long-term evidence showing that carnivore diets promote longevity or healthy aging. Most existing data is anecdotal or based on short-term observations. On the other hand, plant-based eating patterns are backed by decades of rigorous scientific research showing reduced risk of early death and chronic illness. And the blue zones offer powerful real-life proof. People in these communities live longer, healthier lives with vitality well into their 90s and beyond, while eating mostly plants. Conclusion: the carnivore diet may offer short-term improvements for certain individuals, especially those seeking metabolic resets or elimination of triggering foods. However, its exclusion of all plant foods raises significant concerns regarding nutrient sufficiency, cardiovascular risk, and long-term sustainability, both personal and environmental. In contrast, plant-based diets and the traditional eating patterns of blue zone communities offer a compelling blueprint for lifelong health, vitality, and disease prevention. They are supported by decades of peer-reviewed research and real-world longevity outcomes. Whether one adopts a fully plant-based diet or simply incorporates more plant-forward meals, the path to optimal wellness lies in balance, variety, and alignment with nature, not extremes.